I am Marty Nemko. In another of my video experiments, I want to talk about life and death, merely without any. I've really done no preparation. There's certainly no script, and see what comes out of my mouth. Because sometimes my best, most honest thinking just emanates from when I just speak. So I'd like to start with death. Actually, um, I know that people who are religious feel very good about the fact that they may be going on to a better life afterwards, but I'm an atheist and I'm going to speak from that perspective. I do think that when you die, you're no more aware of it than before you were born, and that is comforting. Of course, the real fear is in the pain of dying. Some people are lucky and they simply go quickly. If they're really lucky, they're fine, and then in their sleep they get a sudden heart attack or a stroke and they're gone. But unfortunately, that's one end of the continuum, and too many people die at the other end of the continuum. So for me, there's been so much written by philosophers and theologists and just plain folks about how to deal with that. Some as eminent as the essayist, perhaps the preeminent essayist or the father of the essay, Montaigne, Michel de Montaigne. He wrote two very seminal essays taking opposite positions. One says that you should think about it all the time because it helps you to live better. If you're thinking about death, it makes you treasure each moment more. And another of his essays says the opposite, that it does no good. So for me, it seems to me the wisest position there is to be aware, yes, of it, but not think about it all the time because it's gonna poison every bit of pleasure in your life. And I've been there where I couldn't get myself to stop thinking about it. I tried everything. I tried therapy, I tried reading, etc. And in the end, my wife's advice was the most useful, which is simply distract yourself. As soon as you think about something related to death, rather than keep thinking about it, which is going to make the memory neurons associated with death stronger and make it more top of mind, simply redirect yourself to something constructive. And that, for me at least, has been the most useful by far. But the awareness of our, unfortunately, all of our mortality has made me really try to make the most of each minute. Now, of course, there are many people who try to make the most of each minute by the, as I think it's in the either the Declaration of Independence or the Constitution, the pursuit of happiness. But that seems to me shallow because I could certainly be happy watching Netflix, Amazon Instant Video, eating, sex, getting high, but my life will have been far less worthy or worthwhile than with my admittedly extreme opposing position, which is that I work nearly every waking hour. And I don't believe that shortens my life because I'm doing what I do well and what I believe in, and that in many ways is less stressful than what other people do. I picture the person on the golf course throwing his golf clubs or getting depressed from endless navel gazing and psychotherapy and crying and whatever. So no, for me, I like to work all the time. Out of obligation as much as anything else, I try to be a good husband and father. And I dare say that neither my wife nor my kid would think of me as anything other than above average in both of those dimensions. But I work probably 70, 80 hours a week, and I'm now probably 69 in June. And I just got a clean bill of health for my annual physical. So I don't think that hard work, doing what you do pretty well, as long as you, I do think that anger is not good, and I think that smoking and drugs and alcohol and overweight are not good. But consistent with those things, if you have a little high blood pressure, doing what you need to do to lower it. And get reasonable exercise. They say sitting is the new smoking. So yes, I get up about every hour or so. When my body feels like I could use a stretch or a walk around the block or cleaning the toilets or whatever. And that's my general philosophy of life and death. And my gut is telling me that I think you're better served by my keeping it short like this. And if you want more, if you have questions, clearly, it would be hubristic of me to think that I can describe the meaning of life and death and the way to live and the way to die in 5 minutes or whatever this has been I'm talking. But somehow my gut tells me that shorter is better and that I would probably provide dilution if I went on at greater length to talk about other stuff. So if you want more, ask me a question in the comments. Happy to answer. If not, I do thank you for watching. I'm Marty Nemko.